Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for the opportunity. Really thrilled to be here. I work at a company called Banyan Nation. We're a plastics recycling company. We're based out of Hyderabad, but our supply chain is pan-India. We work with the informal recyclers, and we recycle HDPE bottles into bottles back again. So some of our clients include Unilever, Reckitt, and a host of very large FMCG companies. I really appreciate the opportunity to participate in this event and share our thoughts on the current status of financing and how we can take advantage of the opportunity. Over the past 2 to 3 years, definitely there has been a frenzy of activity in this space thanks to the EPR regulations combined with companies' own sustainability mandates where they're working very hard on collection, recovery of materials, and the use of recycled plastic in their own packaging. So for example, to give you another quick industry example, in the last 12 months, our company Banyan Nation combined with Unilever to produce over 300 million bottles. Surf Excel, Sunsilk, Tresem, everything that you use in the market today is made from recycled plastic. And close to 25 to 50% of that material is coming from Banyan's recycling facilities. So definitely there's been a lot of activity. However, I think the important aspect here is the quantum of VC and PE funding that is available today is insufficient to meet the overall demand and drive innovation. PE VC firms still perceive the sector to be very risky. Informal supply chains, concerns around policy enforcement, particularly how the use of recycled plastic will actually be implemented or enforced rather. And also, sorry to say, but some of these VC and PE firms lack the technical depth and competence to evaluate the emerging technologies in this space. This particular risk-sharing facility, the RSF that we're talking about today, I think it has great potential to facilitate access to global finance for SMEs, contributing to good, like really big business growth and competitiveness amongst Indian firms. I think the RSF can also contribute to the green economy transition by supporting world-class technologies. For example, we've developed a plastic washing technology that is cost-effective and is on par with any of the global technologies in the world. Our recycled resins are on par with virgin resins. So we need a lot of capital to drive the innovation and to generate, develop food-grade resins as well. So the current VC and PE firms and the markets can't embrace that kind of risk. And I think this risk-sharing facility actually has the potential to do that. More importantly, I think this facility also has the potential to improve the overall environmental standards and also the local reporting standards that we currently have today, right? In terms of the climate, environmental, and social metrics. I mean, to give you a sense, the number of informal recyclers that have been integrated. I mean, we need to really use the capital to create a more integrative solution and market. I think this facility has the potential and patience actually to allow companies like us to deliver on that promise. Now, I'm really thrilled actually to see that this RSF will be managed by SIDBI. I think it's one of the financial institutions that has a proven track record of rolling out innovative and forward-looking lending products. I mean, historically, SIDBI has done a fantastic job in that space, whether it's energy or whatnot. So now that you asked me for my opinion or some thoughts, I'm going to give some. So the thing is, I think, our request to SIDBI and the partner organizations, whether they're the MDFCs or the commercial banks, is to come up with a more relevant framework to evaluate and assess risk, right? I mean, traditionally, commercial banks have used historical metrics or traditional metrics such as historical financials to assess a forward-looking risk, right? And also the ratios that they're looking at might not be relevant to a burgeoning industry and a emerging startup space. Perhaps the need of the hour is to look at the cash flows, the innovation, and their order books, right? I mean, if you are going to use the same lens that you've used in traditional lending systems, then this entire RSF can fall flat on its face and really not serve the purpose it's actually meant to serve. The other important aspect is the personal guarantees that we have in India are really not conducive to entrepreneurs in a social setting and a social space, because what they do is they create an environment of apprehension and fear. We need to stop piercing the corporate wheel, right? I mean, it's very important that social entrepreneurs in this space get the corporate wheel protection, which we are not doing right now. And last but not the least, when you're promoting RSFs from international financing, there's always a currency risk that we carry. So the most important thing is, when we want to mitigate the currency risk, all these companies and the partner organizations tend to enter into hedging agreements. Now, what happens is, when you enter into currency hedging agreements, the cost of funding goes really high. In this particular case, if your cost of interest rates are around are about 10%, sometimes 12, 13, 14%, right? That really defeats the entire purpose of catalyzing the entire industry towards a green economy and a transition into a circular economy. So these are some of my thoughts, and just to close it out, our input from Banyan Nation is to develop more relevant cash flow order book based frameworks and not traditional metrics. Try and see how to circumvent the problems of personal guarantees that we have. And lastly, figure out a way to keep the interest rates more relevant to the waste sector rather than to, let's say, a software sector, right? Thanks again for the opportunity. Really appreciate the time here.